but you'll definitely take it. And I think our defence is looking good with Denier and Big Van Dijk. And I think Aguirre is coming onto a game. I think, obviously, it was a big worry at the start when we get into the game. The goalkeeper's not even in the bench, and you're just saying, is this Gordon's injury? But by all accounts, absolutely, he was just rested. There was nothing sinister in it at all. And Zaluska in it, and then Zaluska, the save he does at the end of the game. Did you see it?
I've seen it now.
It's bobbing about the 6-yard line.
He just dived at it. I kind of low on the ground, yeah.
But, no, I'll take it. I'll take the result. But it was a kind of hard fought game. It was a hard fought game. They're good to see Matthews coming in place of Lustig. Well, coming in as a substitute, and then young McGregor didn't start, which I thought his decision making stuff like that, we've discussed it on here, it's maybe not been the best. But he's a young guy, and we'll go on about what Ronnie Dyer was saying about it later. But then Wakasu, McGregor coming on for Wakasu, and Griffiths coming on for Guidetti. I don't know, 15 minutes to go. So it was a 3 points, probably a hard fought 3 points, but a Saturday at 3 o'clock game when you're with your mates for a few pints before it and getting a few pints after it, that's what football's all about for me.
Yeah. One thing I noticed from what I've seen in the game was the passing's getting much better. I mean, that's the one thing I've been kind of crying out for the past couple of weeks. And some of the passing was terrible. Some of the passing was great. On Saturday, I thought, I don't mean like probing long distance passes, or Ronaldinho passes, but just solid passes, reaching the man, and things building up. And I think every game we're playing now. I know we said this about maybe 6-7 weeks ago. The next 4 to 5 weeks, we'd see what kind of team Dyla was going to have for us. I think every game we play, there's a small incremental advance in how the players play and how they gel in terms of momentum and forward movement, and it's I feel really good. I think we've come complete full circle from where we were 3 weeks ago, bitching non-stop. So it's amazing how it can all turn around so quickly.
I would kind of agree. What about you, Paul? You're at a wedding this Saturday.
Aye. So only saw the game back, but I think Yogi Hughes deserves a lot of credit, to be honest.
Big time.
He came in and he gets so much stick all the time just for the way he is, because he's a down-to-earth guy, and he had a remit to kind of try and change the way Inverness played football, and he tried it. To keep the Celtic Park twice towards the end of the season, we annihilated them, and he's like, you can't play like that. So they come again and are involved in a pretty good game and make a decent fist at it. And as you say, Jason, they do look a decent side. And funnily enough, the wedding I was at, there was a few players and ex-players there, and one of them was a current Hibs player who played under Butcher and spent the whole night telling us horror stories about Terry Butcher. And you can kind of imagine that Inverness weren't that overly bothered about leaving if that's the kind of management he is. But he's come in and he's stabilised it. So, but in terms of Celtic, I think it is, Joe. We're playing so many games now. The players are not really training or doing anything. It's just game after game after game. And so it's hard for the manager to kind of impress what he wants on them day to day. But the bottom line is we're winning games and we're not conceding goals. Mm-hmm. And if you're doing that, you're going to do well. And suddenly, from that, anything can blossom. Little acorns become oak trees with these kind of things. But momentum's always hugely important in football, I feel. And, if we'll come on to it later, obviously, but if we manage to get a result tomorrow and even better qualify, then what a lift it gives everybody.
Yeah.
Aye, big time. And yet, the way you're talking about, Joe, I think you're talking about that Astra game. The passing was abominable. Mm-hmm. But I think it's definitely, things are definitely improving. And I've done a full circle. I kind of, I'm in the camp now. I love Ronnie Dyer.
We'll get to that in a few minutes. So, rather than going on to the elephant in the room, I'm going to tie it in together. We got Astra tomorrow, right? Now I won't see the game. I'll be working all day, so watch the highlights when I get back, hopefully. But so beat Astra tomorrow, right? And basically, if we beat Astra tomorrow, do we qualify? Is that it?
If the result goes the other way in the other game.
Okay, so it's a massive step forward at least to beat Astra, right? So beat Astra, you're basically looking at European football after Christmas, right? So you're going into the new year with a real confidence. The Astra game, I know it's not like a foregone conclusion, but I would like to think that this team going into this game after recent results and recent performances will be on a massive high and will be out to send a message. You know what I mean? Because knowing that they are better than Astra and that they can't beat Astra, but then you're going to go into the new year as well with the phenomenal incentive of playing Safeco in the League Cup in January. But let's talk about Astra first, because let's not give them too much of a big banner for who they are. So Astra game, what do you think? I mean, obviously we don't really know much about Astra apart from the last game we played, but I mean, let's just do predictions, I suppose. Predictions, Jason?
I think we'll win.
I think so too.
I think we'll win 2-1.
2-1?
2-1.
Paul?
I think we can win the game. I think we're probably better suited playing them away from home than we were at home because of the way they play. I think, judging by the kind of guy the manager is, that he knows this is a massive opportunity. Like, and in these situations, I mean, you're going to a ground, right? Capacity is 8,500, so forget the crowd. Right, they're not an issue. What it is about us, we've played at grounds like this, Helsinki, Helsingborg, that kind of thing, the last few years. Get out there and do the damage early. Just get straight in about them straight away, put them under the doubts in, because, they're hanging by a thread in this tournament, and they've got all the doubts and all the hassles and all that kind of thing. So I think we could win, and I actually think we could win 2 or 3-0 if we get an early goal.
Yeah. Who do you think he's going to play up front? I mean, obviously, is Tonev's allowed back in for this game, is he? Now, I don't think he'll start, obviously, but...
he won't start. And Stokes is out as well.
Still go with injury still?
No, I think he's got an illness. He's probably got the same virus as Harper on.
Harper probably got it off, Stokes, being in the same stadium as him on Saturday. So who do you think will be up front? Guidetti, Skapovic?
No, Guidetti can't play, can he?
That's right. Guidetti can't play. It's Europa League. So we Skapovic up front, pretty much on his own.
It could be Lee Griffiths.
Could be Griffiths, or they could play Johansson just behind Skapovic. Which I know it's something that Man City do a lot with Aguero and Toure, and it's becoming more and more kind of prevalent in European football. And I know that Johansson's definitely seen as much more creative than he perhaps has been thus far. So you never know, but at the end of the day, I think if we're solid at the back and we've got, I think Lustig coming back is a massive plus. Gordon's fit again. Christ, James Forrest is even fit. He's no traveller.
It must be Christmas.
He's fucking coming back for his one appearance of the season on Sunday, I think. But so with all that in mind, and given that it's no that great a team and it's a small ground and all that, we should have absolutely no fears. And this is what the good teams do in these. Let's win the game and then hopefully the other game goes, and then we can do what we like in the last 2 games. So obviously we want to win the group, but this is a golden opportunity for Celtic to really. And then of course, if you get to this Europe next year, then John Guidetti can play.
Yeah. There was some just blog entries recently the past week or so saying that Commons will be back for the Astra game. Are we going to see Commons, do you think?
No.
No, at all, even on the bench?
No, well, he was out drinking with Martin Compston last night, so...
Really?
Well, he was putting on Instagram and stuff, so... I don't know, I mean, it seems this injury seems to be dragging on a hell of a long time, I'll tell you that.
Is it a liver injury? Is that what it is?
Who knows? I mean, I noticed there was a blog today, a guy tweeted a Celtic Journal, and he was basically saying, CelticJournal.org, the blog, and he was basically saying that he had heard that Commons was the overly keen on Ronnie Dyler's new diet regime, and that there'd been a bit of friction. I mean, I don't know if there's any truth in that or not, but Commons seems to have been threatened. I mean, they were saying in the sort of dispatches before the Partick game they had a chance of playing and just didn't play the end. So I don't know what's going on, but judging by what Ronnie Dyler sees in terms of what he wants for his players and that, you kind of think that Chris Collins is living on borrowed time, I would guess. And certainly from the figures that he was asking for his last big contract, I don't think there's any way on earth Celtic we're going to pay that for a 31-year-old guy,
So ratings on the wall, really, do you think?
I think so. I do think so.
Once you cut out Nando's and the Chris Commons dad, fucking all hell's breaks loose. I mean, fucking,
Well, Nando's almost went in liquidation after Joe Ledley left, so...
I've only been to Nando's once. Is there every Nando's where you have to actually basically go up and pay for your food at the counter and then go and sit and wait for it?
Yeah. I've been in it. My laddie I've only been in it once myself, Joe, and my laddie wanted to go on his birthday. I think because there's so many football players go there, and we went, and that's exactly what you had to do. Just pay for it, and then you just sit and wait and it come out. I didn't enjoy it at all.
Me and my missus went into the one in Dublin, and we sat there for 10 minutes going, what the fuck's going on?
I actually quite like it. But,
the food's nice, like, but all that bullshit, fuck that. I've been at a restaurant and want somebody coming over going, do you want a drink? You alright?
I know what you mean.
Want some cheese? Want some wine?
I'm here, Paul, I'm actually having some smoked salmon and lemon right now.
Is that when you're taking Miss Jones out, is it?
Miss Jones.
My God.
For fuck's sake.
Let's go to the Grange.
By the way, anybody under the age of 30 won't have a fucking clue what we're talking about.
No.
And we're allowed to throw casual racism into the top as well.
I remember you and John showing me some clip from that in the Cross Keys on a Sunday. I was up there, and there was some
What about a waltz?
He's sitting in a restaurant.
Oh, fucking hell. We rebound that about 40 times. Come on.
Wasn't Kate Beckinsale's dad in that?
Aye, Richard Beckinsale.
That's right. Aye.
He was the main. He was one of the main parts. He was the main lodger. Him and Philip.
That's right. And then he died.
Aye. Don Warrington, I think the other boy's name was. But anybody under 30, just Google Rising Damp.
Yeah, Rising Damp. And back then, anything kind of went on TV. There was no political correctness as such. I mean, it was like, who's got a TV? None of those people. We can make fun of them.
Actually, one final thing on that. What was the name of Rigsby's cat?
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Shit.
That's some trivia there.
I'll give you a clue. It was a place name.
Place name?
A city.
Well, he's a Scouser, but
No.
Paris, no.
Close. But you're on the right lines.
Munich.
Nah,
Brussels.
I'll tell you. Vienna.
Vienna. Right, there you go.
We've lost all the listeners, but we're enjoying ourselves.
One other final thing. Can you mind the one he took Miss Jones ballroom dancing to the Grange? Can you mind the psycho whose smoking jacket he'd borrowed?
Aye.
At the Grange. Can you mind his name?
Oh, God. No.
Spooner.
That was it. Spooner.
Welcome to Old Man TV Trivia, folks.
Just like a fucking promo for UK Gold now.
Henry Kelly's going to run out any second. Going for gold.
That's going for gold, Joe. I said UK Gold just.
It is on, the time is right.
Oh dear. Anyway, who played?
Aye.
Anyway, Astra. Well, I think we can kind of put a close on Astra because we don't know much about it.
I think as well that see the way obviously Ronnie sets his team up and he likes the one up front. It's kind of custom made for playing in Europe, especially away from home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, potentially in the in the Europa League group stages, potentially we're maybe better than the teams that are coming to Celtic Park. So you're kind of thinking you could open up a bit. But when you're going away from home in Europe, against anybody in Europe, when we go away from home, we're kind of underdogs. There's very few teams we would play away from home in Europe that we would be favourites. So when you're setting up with the one up front and you're maybe having a tight midfield, it's tailor-made for that. Because as Ronnie, we'll go on to later on when Ronnie gave us the Nuremberg speech, but nothing to do with the Nazi party, but when he gave us a speech the other night, and he told us about his football philosophy. It is tailor-made for us to win in Europe because he wants 11 guys to work their socks off. He wants 11 defenders and he wants 11 attackers. You know, he doesn't want no passengers, no time for any sort of luxury players, so to speak. There isn't any place for them in Celtic's team going forward. And you can only buy into what the guy was saying. Yep. And that's no dig at Chris Commons for me, because I think Chris Commons has been a brilliant player for Celtic, probably our best player. But I just, sometimes away from home in Europe, he's no the kind of guy, he'll no put the 20 mile in or whatever that somebody's wanting you to run and put the crazy tackles. And although he does tackle for the front, you know, because the one of their goals in the Europa League in the earlier was against Zagreb. Chris Commons get the tackle and put the ball through to Stokes.
Yes.
Aye.
So he did tackle for the front, you know, and what Tyler's looking for. But